Blessings, blessings. Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is the official launch for my second book of poetry, Emotions and Unfolding with Poetry. I have a couple of copies here available. I have a couple copies already signed and ready to go to their forever homes on Monday. Thank you everyone who ordered, pre-purchased a copy of this book. I was giving a special sales offering of $22 for a copy of this book, and that included the ticket for this event today. Ooh, my table is a little movie, a scoozy. And I am just so freaking excited to finally have this launch, okay? This book came out about 5 months ago, and there's been so much happening in my world. There's still so much happening. I'm still in transition. I'm still living out of boxes. And I have this wonderful book, and I'm just like, I can't wait anymore. I can't wait to get home to have this book launch. So I'm having this live online book launch today. Look at this amazing cover, okay? Big shout out to 𝗘𝗏.𝗏. Go show him some love for designing this. He drew this by hand. It took him forever to figure out the skin tone. Maybe he can speak into it. I did the light language, and I designed the cover. And I self-published this through 𝘂𝗶𝗰, and that was a learning curve, which took me a month, an unexpected extra month, but that's okay, right? Because life is about learning and discovering and growing. So I'm so excited to send these copies. I have a couple more in the other room. The ones that are signed, these are now available. So today is this book launch. Yay! I'm having the live event, and I'll likely have an in-person event at some point. But between now and then, we've got the book live. It's going to be available in my shop by the end of the month. I mean, it's already live on the shop. Just getting the links posted will be happening in this next week. So super, super exciting. And because I'm just so excited to have this live launch with you, I am extending the special offering of $22 for the book, shipping included. This book is valued at $28 in my online store. I'm going to extend that offering until midnight PST of Sunday, 7/27. So the rest of today and tomorrow, those of you who are here live, those of you who are catching the replay, and you would like a personalized signed copy of the book, US shipping included, I'm going to extend that special launch offer because why not? I am just so happy, grinning ear to ear to have arrived at this point today. So let's drop in. Let's drop into Sacred Circle today. Let's clear the energy field. Let's drop into breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's do a couple of those deep cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. Centering into the sacred heart space now. Placing a hand on heart. Feeling the stillness of the breath within. As you inhale, opening, softening, and expanding just a little bit, taking up some space, taking up the space that you occupy. Maybe spread your wings and stretch yourself out. Inhaling in through the nose, receiving the breath of life. Exhale, just surrendering to this here now moment, dropping, anchoring fully in the here now. For this next hour or so, gifting yourself this time to be present with me, to receive, to be inspired, gifting yourself this time of receiving me and witnessing me, and also giving to me your undivided attention and energy. So, coming back to the present moment. So, who am I? Who am I? I am Lady Drasmin. I am a poet, an author, a prayer form dancer, a ceremony space holder, a high priestess, an embodiment guide, an eco warrior, a quantum weaver, a grid walker, a child of the utmost high, divine sovereign, lover of all things beautiful, vox populi. Ultimately, I am spirit in form, here experiencing being human, here integrating the divine into the human experience, here sharing a little bit of my light with you through my presence, through my words, today through my poetry, and providing spaces, creating inspiration, embodying the mirror of your excellence and your beauty and your power. So I am that I am that I am. I am that I am that I am. Oh yes, I also love to sing songs and write songs. In fact, earlier this week, not to take away from the emotions, don't worry, Boogie, I got you. I just recorded my first song professionally. It's going to come out in the next few weeks. I'm so excited. So yes, I am unfolding in my pathways now as a poet and a priestess. And as I am going through this book launch with you, I am rebirthing myself. And I have held different roles and responsibilities for the last 7 to 10 years of my life, and true to the nature of seasons and cycles of 7 and 10, I am now in this rebirth and truly stepping into my gifts and my growing mastery as a poet and a priestess. So, how to connect with me, where to find me, all the details are in the description box of this live video, and you're welcome to connect with me here on Facebook as well, where this video is being posted live, and stay connected with me because I am quite active online and quite present within this space, seen and unseen, to support our continued evolution. It's always interesting talking about self, isn't it? Now, let's talk about emotions. What is this book? What is emotions? And unfolding with poetry. Now, there's a snippet in the back. Shall I read it? All right, I'll read it. Okay. So, Lady Drasmin, that's me, hi, goes into my bio, already talked about it. So, in emotions and unfolding with poetry, I share my soul's journey through powerful, evocative poetry, written over an 8-year sojourn of shaman, medicine woman initiation, and elder training. This collection delves into the intricate discovery and evolving nature of human emotions, capturing the delicate dance of empowered vulnerability in birth, death, and rebirth. In this weaving, I invite you, I call you to embark on your own emotional unfolding. How do I do this? So, little backstory into this book. And I have a nice beginning, couple-page intro here that goes deeper into my story. So I'll give you some little nuggets here and there, right, thoughts draw you in and capture your attention more than I have. So at the end of 2015, I decided to begin a new cycle. One that was without a list of resolutions and goals and to-do lists and intentions. I wanted something simple. I wanted something fresh. I wanted something that was me. And I had been meditating at that point for almost a year. And for me, meditation is the practice of observation. I always like to explain meditation when I'm asked by others, or when I hear someone say meditation is really hard, and I say, why? Let's unpack it. So meditation is like, imagine that this is a hill, and you're sitting on this hill, and you're looking down at a freeway. You got cars going one way, you got cars going the other way. This is you on your seat of meditation, observing the cars of your thoughts going one way, the cars of your emotions going another way. And then you get to decide which vehicle you want to go on a journey into, which thought or which emotion you want to engage with. And from that eagle side, from that higher point of observation, you then start seeing where there's traffic jams, where there's congestions, where there's accidents, crossed roads, etc., etc. And of course, the mind and the emotions are not as simple as a freeway going one direction and the other way, right? We wish. It's a labyrinth, right? And yet with this consistent practice of presence, of showing up and becoming the observer, returning to the sacred seat of witness, we start seeing clear the pathways of thought and emotion and the intersections therewith. And it took me a few years to understand that, but I had been in the practice of learning how to sit here and not be down here in the chaos, LA traffic. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been down there, okay? Or even like, Pennsylvania. Woo! Okay, so I was like, okay, I've just been sitting here, so maybe I can like dip my fingers, dip my little toesies in there. And I was like, so what is my concise plan for this new year? I questioned. And immediately I heard the power of intention. Now, earlier that year, I had learned from a Native American elder the power of intentional words, something that was familiar to me because I was raised as a missionary, preacher's kid, a missionary's daughter. And so I knew about holy words. And yet the way that these holy words were presented to me was often in a way as a tool, tool of distorted power, a tool to create obedience. And so I had to sit with that discomfort of, I really like this idea, but I'm really struggling with what is coming up for me and these memories and these attachments and these connections. So it took me a few weeks to sort through those layers. And then as I reflected on the medicine I had received from this elder and my own life experiences, I eventually came into a place where I softened into this intuitive Native American way of invoking word with intention rather than the dogmatic Christian way of affixing intention to pre-established words. And I was like, a power word. One chosen from a place of deep presence, open to receive whatever came through. And so I, upon this realization, realized like, I really like this. This is cool. This is different. I've always loved language. I've always loved words. And in fact, this book is dedicated to my dear, 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 sweet, sweet, sweet grandmother, Sant Mama Puspa. Holding a moment of breath here for my elder. And she was the first one who nurtured my love for writing and language. And even though she is no longer in this physical world and has been gone for almost 30 years, her wisdom, love, and grace continues to guide me every day. So deep gratitude to my grandmother, Sant Mama. So I pondered after this illumination on like my power word for 2015. And it took me a little bit, and I tell you about the experience of how I came into that word. And I came up with this word. The first word was heritage. I wanted to connect more with my culture, the one I was born into. I was born into a father who is from India and a mother who is Hispanic, yet I was raised in a Bible-centric home, very dogmatic. And so anything other than the Bible was discouraged, shall we say. And so I was like, ooh, heritage, that sounds fun. And I had this vision of like this rainbow dress and this like very particular tiara, and just like going to this cool party and welcoming the new year, like having a good old time. I mean, I drank alcohol back then, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this party, I'm gonna dress up like my heritage, like all colorful and jeweled out, and I'm just gonna have the best time. And then as the closing of the year came in, as the end of 2015 came in, I realized that I wanted to welcome the new year sober, which was a first for me. Since I'd started drinking almost 10 years prior, right? And unbeknownst to me in that moment, it would trigger a 7-8 year cycle of sobriety, almost 9, if I'm being honest now. And so I had a really wonderful time. And then the year that followed, I just allowed heritage to reveal itself to me. And for the years that followed, and I continue to, so with this practice, I have chosen a word for the year ahead. And I was just writing, journaling, allowing myself to whatever came through. I had a counselor who had encouraged me to pick up writing again. And that was big for me because all of my writings have been destroyed twice intentionally in my life. Well, one, they disappeared. Okay, the first time they were intentionally destroyed, I was 15, and then 2 years later, they just all disappeared. So I was in a writing freeze for many years, and then in my mid-20s, I was encouraged to write again by a counselor, and I took this poetry class in college just for fun, and that reawakened my love for writing. And so I didn't really take it seriously for a couple of years, but then when I initiated this practice of a power word for a year, I was like, okay, I'm going to just start writing and journaling, just for myself, okay? And after the 7th year of this discipline, you hear that cycle of 7 and 10, I realized what each invocation had done for me. It had awakened within me a deep understanding of a particular emotion within. I was like, okay, that's cool, that's interesting. And so that took me down a labyrinth of discovery, of creating coaching programs, of creating content, of creating booklets, some of which are still available in my online market. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I published my first book of poetry, which is very different from this. My very first book of poetry was a download through 𝗂𝗳𝗊 and is a book one of a multi-book series that will be coming out over the course of my life. And so that was quote unquote easier to publish because it wasn't my heart expressed in writing. It was a download that came from one of the great masters. And so but I have been working on a book, you know, while I was going through this journey. You know, shortly after I was initiated into the path of shamanka, of elder. It wasn't necessarily something that I intentionally sought out. It is something that found me, and then I made the intentional choice to commit. And that story of awakening is through these years of this intentional word invocation for each year. And I am working on my third solo book, which is due to come out later this year, where I dive into my personal experiences that were going on through each year. And I've been working on that book for a few years, and I'm so excited that it's finally coming out this year. I have a wonderful editor that I'm working with, and now I know how to work the publishing ropes for myself. So, you know, I've been mastering the system over the last few years, but I still have so much to learn. I'm so grateful for so many beautiful people who have supported me along the way. Shout out to House of Indigo Publishing. Shout out to Jessica Beal of J House Publishing, and shout out to Lady Anika also as well for her love and support and witness, and so many other of my other sisters and brothers and allies. Shout out to every single one of you for continuing to witness and support me in my journey. Like, deep gratitude. It truly takes a village. It truly takes a community, and I'm so grateful for the village and the community that I have online and in person, and the intersections, and we continue to meet each other. And I know that one day I'm going to meet every single one of you and share a sweet, warm heart hugs. So between now and then, thank you for your presence in this world and in my life. Okay, where was I? I get distracted with gratitude. Not a bad thing to be distracted by, right? Yeah, so I'm working on that book, right? I've been working on that book for a few years, and last year I met with a soul sister, and we were having a lovely conversation about books of poetry, and she was talking about being inspired to write her book of poetry. I was like, well, you know, if you would like an accountability buddy, I would love to write a book alongside you. And she's like, what are you thinking, a poetry book? I was like, I actually hadn't considered a poetry book, but I guess I do have about 10 years worth of poetry and writing. I could put something together over the next few months. And so we were meeting weekly to talk about progress of writing and creativity. Ultimately, she went down a different path, and I chose to continue with publishing in the framework and timeline that we had devoted into together. She decided to not. So I went forward with it, right? And I realized that I had all this poetry over the last 10 years. Here I was working on my life story, my life experience, and the teachings and the depth and the keys and the codes that I reawakened through deep meditation journeys and plant ally intensives and vision quest journeys over this 8, 9, 10-year sojourn now. And I was like, you know, I think it'd be really fun to have a collection of poetry that is just the poetry that came through during those years. And so this book, okay, is a collection of 74 poems. 9 poems over the course of 8 years. Is it 9 poems? Yes. 9 poems over the course of 8 years. So between 2016 till what is the date? Is there a date? I don't have a date. Do I have a date? Oh, please. So through the years of 2016 and 2023, the beginning of this practice in 2016, all the way to 23, I chose one power word for each year. And then I wrote all this poetry. And then I went through this process at the beginning of the year where I spent several weeks in deep prayer and meditation, and also a lot of work, okay, editing. I still have journals and journals and journals of poetry I'm transcribing onto the computer and editing and sharing. And so I just like went into this deep space of reflection, of receiving, of allowing my higher self to step through, of feeling the energy of the connection to my book. 𝗲 is the title. I'll be revealing more about that soon. Stay tuned. And I was feeling into 𝗲 and the theme of 𝗲, and then I just started feeling like, okay, what poetry wanted to come through? How does it want to be structured, right? And so I ended up selecting 9 poems for each of these years, and these poems reflect my pathways of discovering and understanding. Understanding is integrated understanding a particular emotion. And then, so the chapters are titled by the key word. I share with you the 9 poems, and at the end of the chapter, I reveal the emotion that was revealed to me. And I also, at the end of each chapter, under the emotion that I discover, have included some lines for you to pen your own intuitive flow. So there's like writing space in here for you. Let me show you one of those pages. Look at that. Look how fun. Okay, do you see that? Writing page there? Ooh, the emotion is envy. Sneak peek. So this space is yours to explore, to reflect, to connect with the emotions that arise for you. How did you feel as you read my poems through that year that were titled a very specific word? Does what you feel match my discovery? If yes, how does that make you feel? And if no, how does that make you feel? And if you're feeling extra brave, I would love for you to share your thoughts and doodles with me on my Substack post. And I have on this intro page, I have a QR code as well as a link to the Substack page where you can come and share your unfolding, your journey, your experiences, your insights, and together we create a community of authentic relating, empowered vulnerability, and soulful co-creation together. Ultimately, this book is not only my journey of divine discovery and embodiment, it is also an invitation for you to embark on your own reclamation, weaving and unfolding with me and with all of life. So that's a little intro for the book that I wanted to share with you today. And now let's just take a quick deep breath. There was a lot that was shared there. I usually have a little thing of water by me, but I was so excited to get on here today that I just sat down without getting a cup of water, but that's okay. I'm quite well hydrated today. I don't feel like getting up, but I do feel like a little stretchy. Let's clear the energy field. And now we're going to go into sharing some poetry with you. before we go deeper into this journey, again, I want to say thank you to everyone who's here live. Thank you to everyone who's catching the replay. This offering is a pay what you can offer. The suggested donation is $8 or more. If that is something that you have the spaciousness to, it really helps support me and support all of the behind the scenes work that goes into being a soulpreneur. If you're interested in a signed and personalized copy of the book, I'm offering the $22 launch price special until 11 p.m. PST on 7/27, US shipping included. And if you are interested in the VIP experience, okay, I'm asking for a donation exchange of 77. You get the book, you get the personalized signed copy of the book, and you also get a personalized poem, a personalized transmission complete with light language seal, handwritten on a special piece of paper and included in the mailed copy of your book. So again, all those details and how to send me payments are in the description box of the video replay. All right, so let's drop back into breath. I'm going to share with you 3 poems. Take a sip of water. If you have tea or coffee, wonderful. So, the first word that ignited this journey and has led to the publishing of this book that I never intended to write. I never intended to write this. I never intended to share these poetry and these words with anyone. Was heritage. And so it feels right to begin sharing, open the sharing of poetry with one of the poems from that first chapter. So I will read you this one. Emotions and Unfolding with Poetry by Lady Drasmin. That's me. This is from the chapter and year Heritage. I needed to remove my eyes because my contacts gave me X-ray vision. I lay buried under the tub, never knowing it was possible to stab so many bubbles. I look up and see popcorn, clouds peppering my view, and feel the earth move. Did you know it is rare to get struck by lightning thrice? Rare, but it switched my eyes. I feel dead skin sloughing off, that invisible bushy tail. A swish, a fleck, the pen starts. Breathing into the space. Clearing and preparing to receive a second poem. Which one? Okay. This one is from the year of trust. Trust. I'm going to read some snippets from this poem. Open the door. Let the light enter. Illuminate the shadows. Hibernating to strengthen for the day of reckoning. Presence to welcome. The light dancing to open joy in the darkness. Like the first bloom after a winter of ice. Like the first cool dip after a sweltering day. Cooling and swarming limbs too long untouched, blooming and blossoming like a fragile rose after the longest night of solstice. Gold and silver cracking through lips like spidery veins on paper skin. So too is this love creeping into hibernating heart. Welcome the light, unlocking dreams, never forgotten, only gestating until now. And the last poem I feel called to share with you today is from the year of expansion. The sun cares not for the color of your skin, for the skin upon your skin, for the colors of your skins. The sun cares not for the body your sacred form holds, for the capacity of light you will to hold, for its capacity to scorch you to the bones. The sun cares for the heat and light it holds. Its reason for being is to be the light it is and births, and to share its heat with bodies across worlds. The sun cares only to burn and to deliver, to continuously alchemize darkness into light, to illuminate life with its fearless force of power. When was the last time the sun cared for being too hot? When has there ever been a lessening of force? When has the sun ever paused to rest? You, beloved, are not the sun and cannot burn without rest. Yet you, beloved, are like the sun, a force of nature, radiant and unique to your own core of being, here to shine, here to illuminate worlds, to burn bright. You, beloved, are a sun. Your inner beauty spilling over. What is your inner driving force? What do you pour your life energy into? Whose life do you illuminate with your I am presence? Above all, shine for you. Burn for your brilliance. Live out your radiance. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Let's take a few moments of breath here to let all those words just settle in. At this point, I would invite your questions, your curiosities, your insights, your shares, and since I am here and there's no one else here live with me at this time, I'm going to invite you to comment down below and share. Share your insights, share a key takeaway from a poem, share a breakthrough moment perhaps that you had. And again, if you are interested in receiving a copy of the book, all the details are in the description right up under the replay of this video. Thank you again for being here today, beloved one. I'm so grateful to have shared the sacred time with you, to be witnessed, and to also witness you in the receiving of me and how that inspires you to discover your own creative magic. Until we meet again, take care of your beautiful selves, and I look forward to the next time we get to share in sacred circle together. Blessed be.